Here's a 3 small C camera. Got a problem with the shutter. The shutter doesn't seem to release. Now it's got multiple problems, I would say, because if I cock it and press my shutter release, the button's pretty much all the way to the top of the camera, but the shutter hasn't fired. But if I press on the arm, I'll get a weak click. That tells me that there is a problem in the length of the shutter release, as well as probably a problem in the shutter. The shutter's not firing. I'm looking at the state of the arm here to see if it's been bent, to see if that would account for a shortness of stroke there, but I don't see anything. So let's see if we can see what's happening when I try to cock the shutter. So I'm going to open it up from the front. I've already got the front group off, as you can see. This may need a shutter cocking rack, which is unfortunate. Or it may have other issues. May have lots of other issues. Let's have that retaining ring off. Take those rings off. Let's put this back on. I've just left the speed settings cam ring on there. I want to see what's happening as I try to cock the shutter. See what's moving and what's not. You can see the main cam coming round, and then the main cam releases. It's not locking into position. So has this arm got the spring on it? Yeah, that has. If I bring the main cam round a bit further, what happens? Yeah, it locked into place. Let's see if the shutter fires now. It does. Okay, so that tells me that the shutter cocking action is not carrying far enough. It means that either the cocking rack has jumped a tooth, or the adjustment was simply incorrect. When somebody serviced the camera, they haven't set that correctly, so that it might have just been cocking previously and it's not moving far enough to do that. So we now know that the shutter does work, that the problem is in the cocking action up here. So we'll open the top of the camera now and see if I can see a problem with the shutter cocking rack. There may be nothing to see. If the teeth look damaged, well, we can say that yes, that's it. If the teeth don't look damaged, then we have to delve deeper. Clearly the shutter cocking rack works to some extent, but it may be a tooth out. If it's a tooth out of adjustment, that usually points to damage. It usually points to the mechanism having skipped a tooth because the tooth is damaged. I'll remove the top cover. I'll remove the meter. Now the position of that shutter cocking rack where I see it sitting there is back further than I would expect it to be. This is uniformly dirty here. But the teeth look like they're present and correct. I'll remove that rangefinder. I'll show you what I'm seeing. Now the shutter cocking rack is right back to the casting at this point. It's not because of damage to this film advance lever. Sometimes if that rubber buffer's missing, then that lever comes back and so it pushes this back further. It certainly looks to me like we're one tooth out from where we should be there. So, is there a problem we can fix from the top? Well, that's a possibility. I'll slacken the screw here. Someone has been in here. This shaft, you need a special tool really to get it at, to be able to grip it at the bottom, but somebody's cut a screw slot across the top. So someone certainly has serviced this without having access to all the gear. So did they make a mistake when they did so? Well, that's a possibility. What I'm going to do is lift this rack up and bring it forward one tooth and see if that makes the difference. If it'll lift for me. That's where I would expect it to sit in the rest position. Let's put this back on and see if it'll cock and fire. It may be that the teeth on the rack are damaged down here at this end. Okay, well that's back on. That should do it if it's going to do it. Set that to a nice slow speed. That'll do nicely. There you go. So that shutter's working. And that was down to the position of the shutter cocking rack, and it was one tooth out from where it should be. It's quite feasible that someone's had the top off this. Perhaps they've taken the rack out to look at it. Perhaps they've replaced the rack, but it wasn't in quite the right position. So now I'm going to take that rack out and check it to see if the teeth at the bottom of the rack are good. And they are good. This is very dirty, but the rack teeth are good, so it doesn't need a shutter cocking rack. It was simply a matter of maladjustment. It may well be that when the camera had been previously serviced, that the tolerances were tight enough that it was moving the shutter far enough to cock it correctly. But as things have worn it a little bit, it's not quite pulling it far enough. But as I say, the rest position as I saw it there was one tooth away from where I'd expect it to be. And when I put that rack in the correct position, away she went, no problems at all. So this camera I'm going to clean and service, but I don't see any outstanding issues. I think that basically that's it. The owner was asking about the exposure meter. That appears to be absolutely dead, and it's not really, I can't see the needle move when I shake it. I'm going to take the top off that. It may be that the meter's been repaired in the same useless fashion that the camera had been repaired, or it may mean something else. It may mean that the camera's been dropped and the movement is off its pivots. See, that movement's too far over there, I think. That's just, that needle is down hard on the top of that plate. That movement is off its pivots. Whether that means it'll come back good, I don't know. I will attempt to get that meter back on its pivot. To do that, there's a little adjustment screw down here, locked with red lacquer. Now if you screw that in, I think that lowers the pivots. I'm trying to see here whether it's off the pivot at the top or off the pivot at the bottom. I think it's off the pivots at the bottom. Alright, so that's worth a look. So it's possible, no more than possible, it's possible that if that meter has no other fault, that movement is off its pivots and nothing has broken, that I might be able to get this to go again simply by getting that meter movement back on the pivot. However, I did recently have a camera here with a sort of similar problem. It had a broken pivot. The pivot was on the movement. There's a little pin that sticks down from the movement, top and bottom, and hop into a little like a little cup on the armature, and the pin was simply broken. It was missing on one end of it, and there was nothing I could do about that. So yes, this one here, that certainly shows that movement's off its pivots. The movement can't physically move because it's tipped over and its needle is burrowed into that plate, but hopefully it'll come right. Well, that's what it was. The meter movement was off its pivots. I've now got that back on its pivot, and I did that simply by screwing in that screw there, which lowers the cups on the armature, on the core. The meter movement balanced itself up level. I could see that it could swing, and I tightened the screw back up again, or backed it out in practical terms, and now we have a lively meter. Now, it doesn't look like it's anything vaguely like accurate. It looks very insensitive, but had the selenium cell been any good, it would be a good working meter. As it happens, the selenium cell's gone the way of all selenium cells, or very nearly all selenium cells that are over 65 years old, and it is its output is much sadly reduced. But so even though it's not going to be an accurate meter on this camera ever again, it's nice to have a meter that does react to light, so that when you pull it out of the cabinet, it still has the appearance of a camera that works perfectly. There it is, all back together. So what did we find? Well, the meter, of course, the movement had jumped off its pivots. The meter's not accurate, that's just unfortunate. The shoe was very distorted, that had to be panel beated back into place. Basically the body was sound, just dirty, fried grease, stuff like that. Something odd with the film advance there. There's a spring in the top of that, a leaf spring basically in the top of that wind mechanism, film advance mechanism. And it's supposed to go cup shaped, so its tips are up. It was up the other way. That would have made for probably inconsistent or rough film advance, I think. It certainly wasn't ideal. So that was an upside down. The cocking rack, as I say, was clearly out one tooth. When it was put back in the right place, the shutter miraculously worked. The shutter release has quite a long stroke, you might say there, but it works nicely. It's timed with the film release, so that's working nicely. The shutter itself, what was inside there? Yeah, that was a bit of a mixed bag, that one. The diaphragm was quite stiff. Now some of that was just because it had some gummy oil at the back of it which needed to be cleaned away. And one of the blades had a little point of distortion on it. And I've mentioned many times when I'm servicing shutters that you need to be quite cautious to make sure that everything is still in place before you tighten down screws. for retainer plates and so forth in the shutters. And that case here, clearly one of those blades was not in position and it was sitting over the top of one of the other pivots, and somebody tightened the screws up on it and it had damaged the blade as a result. And that just made the diaphragm a bit stiff. I was able to press that little bump back down and everything's working nicely. The shutter itself, apart from that, yeah, the mechanism plate was unusually free from lubricant. It's not uncommon for there to be an awful lot of graphite grease splashed about in shutters in no particularly useful fashion at all. But this one really didn't have any lubricant in various places that it required it, so that wouldn't have been helping the shutter at all, even though the shutter did work to a certain extent. Anything else? Well, not a lot really. Getting the leatherette off the base of the camera was a real trial. It was exceptionally well stuck. Not the original adhesive. Someone had been in there before me. It was something unusual, that adhesive. I don't know what it was. It didn't play nicely anyway, let's just say that. But what have we got at the end of the day? Well, we've got a 3C that works quite nicely. How did that meter come to be damaged? That's usually drop damage, and usually you can see where the drop damages can happen, and usually it means that it's bashed in at one or other end of the camera. In this case, the meter settings dials here at the top were loose, and they were loose because the screws were very, very distorted. They're quite small brass screws, and they do get distorted if they're mistreated. And I think that the camera had taken a big thump on that dial and had loosened everything up in there, and that incident was what caused that meter movement to jump off its pivots. However, this one's ready to go home to its owner. So, thanks for watching.